Alright, so now we're going to get into tooltips, which is another part of the Bootstrap JavaScript. So what I have here is we have some buttons. I'm actually going to make this a little bigger so that these are all on the same line. And what I want to do is make it so that when we hover over these, we can get tooltips on different sides of the buttons. So let's start off by adding some classes to these buttons. So we'll say btn primary for that one. This one, we'll just make them different colors. This one will say btn success, which will make it green. Let's do btn warning. And we'll do btn danger. Alright, so we have some buttons. Now we're going to add an attribute to these buttons called data toggle. Okay, and we're going to set data toggle to tooltip. And then we also want to add a data placement attribute. And for this one, the data placement is going to be the top. Then we just want the title, which is going to be the actual content of the tooltip. So for this, we'll just say tooltip on top. Okay, we're going to need this stuff for the rest of these, so I'm just going to copy this, paste that in, except we're going to change this one to the right. We'll change this, let's say tooltip on right, and then this one here, let's paste this in and change the data placement to the bottom. We'll change the title, and then we have this one which will be on the left. So we'll say data placement left, and we'll change this here to left. Alright, so let's save this. Now you notice that if I go and I hover over this, nothing is happening. That's because we need to actually initialize our tooltips. So we're going to go down to the bottom here, and I have an empty set of script tags, and we want to init the tooltips. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of jQuery and say anything with the attribute of data toggle equals tooltip, we're going to call dot tooltip. Okay, so we'll save that, go back, and now we have tooltip on top, on the right, on the bottom, on the left. Alright, so you need to initialize them. Now we can also have HTML in our tooltips. So if we go right here, what I'll do is, let's see, I'm just going to copy this first one, and let's see, we'll put this right here. Actually, we'll replace this button, and we'll say tooltip with HTML. And then let's see, so for title, let's go ahead and put in an H3, and we'll just say hello world in the H3. Then we'll put a paragraph, and let's just put a couple words. We'll say lorem 5 tab. Alright, so now we have some HTML in here. Now if I save this and I hover, you'll see that it's not actually parsing the HTML, it's showing the tags. The reason for that is we need to add an extra attribute called data HTML. Alright, we want to set that to true. Basically, we're giving it permission to parse the HTML. So now you can see that it actually parses. Alright, next thing I want to do is I want to show you how we can trigger these tooltips from within JavaScript. So let's add some classes to these buttons here. We'll do button secondary. And then what we're going to have these do is we're going to add an on-click event handler, and this is going to call a function called show tooltip. Alright, so that'll be show tooltip, and then we'll have this one call a function called hide tooltip, and then this one will call a function called toggle tooltip. Okay, so what we'll do now is go down to our script tags. We're going to go right under the initialization here, and we're going to create a function called show tooltip. And then what we'll do is we'll use a little bit of jQuery, and we want to grab onto one of these buttons. So let's see, I guess we'll just take the HTML one we did, and we'll give that an ID of hello, so that we can grab onto that. All right, so we'll say ID hello, and then we're going to say, what are we going to do? We're going to do .tooltip, and this takes in a parameter. What we want to do with the tooltip, we want to show it. So let's go ahead and save, and now if I click show tooltip, it's actually going to fire the tooltip off for that element, okay, because that's what we're calling with the ID of hello. So that'll show it. Now we also want a function to hide it. So let's change this to hide tooltip, and then all we have to do is change this to hide. Okay, so we'll save that, click this, it shows, click this button, it hides. Now we can also toggle it. So this will be toggle tooltip, and then we just need to pass into here toggle. And now if I click it, shows, click it again, it goes away, so it toggles. We also have some events that we can tap into when tooltips are fired off. So we're going to take that hello element, and we're going to say .on, and then we have an event called show.bs.tooltip. Okay, and that's going to have a second parameter, which will be a function to run, and then we're just going to console.log. So it's console.log, and we'll just say tooltip show. So we'll save that. Let's open up our console, and then as soon as that tooltip shows, the event fires off and we're logging it. So what I'll do now is copy this, because we have 3 more events so we can hook into. Next one is going to be shown. So here we'll change that to tooltip shown. That'll basically fire off after the tooltip is all finished showing. And then we also have hide.bs.tooltip. So we'll say tooltip hide, and then we also have hidden, which will fire off after it's completely hidden. All right, so if I save that and we go and fire this off, we get shown. When it goes away, we get hide and then hidden. Okay, so it's just some events we can tap into. So that's it for tooltips, guys. In the next video, we're going to take a look at JavaScript popovers.